Time Terry was 15, our now deceased sister Susan was 13, I was 12, and my little brother Jim was 8 years old. Herb and Mom married in 1972, and they were together until the day she died on April 17th, 1999, 28 years later. Herb adored our mother and showed it in many ways. When they met, she had just opened her own accounting firm, and she put in long hours, especially during tax time. Herb was always there to cook nutritious dinner and keep the house clean. When she became ill at the age of 64, Herb was the one who made sure she ate and had plenty of library books to pass the time. Herb influenced all of our lives, but he had the greatest impact on the youngest of us, my little brother Jim. Our father was still in the picture, but not on a daily basis. Jim was only 8 years old, and Herb was the only real father figure he ever had. Herb taught him how to play cribbage, and they spent hours playing countless games. Herb taught him how to fish, which is one of Jim's favorite pastimes to this day. Herb taught him about cars, how to run a boat, how to build stuff. Jim said Herb taught him most of the things a father teaches their son about how to be a man. After Mom died, Jim and Herb spent about a month searching for the perfect place for Herb. When they found paradise, Herb said, "This is it." Upon hearing of the fire, my siblings and I attempted to contact Herb to no avail. Jim drove up from the Bay Area and searched the shelters, the parking lots, the evacuation camps. I called everyone, the Sheriff's Department, the Paradise Police Department, the hospitals, the Butte County Coroner, Sacramento County Coroner. With no word on his whereabouts, I contacted the Butte County Task Force and reported Herb as missing. Days passed and we were unable to find any clue as to where Herb might be. We agonized over the possibility that he could be injured without anyone to comfort and care for him. Herb had no children of his own, no surviving relatives. We were his only family. After several days, I spoke again with a member of the Missing Persons Task Force. I was told that Herb had been marked safe. When I asked where he was, a deputy told me he couldn't give me any other information. We were thrilled that Herb was safe, but at the same time infuriated that there was no more information. We had no way of knowing what his physical or emotional condition was, where he was, whether or not his needs were being met. After 12 days of being in an emotional roller coaster, Butte County Sheriff's Deputy Tiffany Larson called and told me in the kindest and most compassionate way possible that remains had been found in the rubble where Herb's home once stood. Our hearts sank. Herb was 79 at the time of his death. He didn't get around very well and he didn't drive, but he was still sharp as a tack, and he knew everything that was going on around him. Herb had been receiving physical therapy at home from the staff at Ascent Care. I spoke to Barbara, the receptionist, who told me she had been on the phone with Herb the morning of the fire. She said he called at least 5 times, each sounding more panicky and desperate. He was pleading for help, begging for someone to come and get him. Barbara tried to keep him calm and told him someone was on the way. His last words to her were, "The fire is 2 houses away, help me." Then the phone went dead. For the record, the wonderful people of Ascent Care had sent somebody to rescue Monty, as they called him, but they were unable to reach him as they were turned back at a roadblock. My prevailing thought has been how absolutely terrified Herb must have been. My heart aches for him. These are the words of my sister Terry. This has left an indelible emotional scar that haunts my dreams. My heart breaks thinking of how Herb must have been terrified as he watched the flames creep ever closer with no hope of escape. At almost 80 years old, he was physically frail and lived alone, so there was no one there to comfort him or help him flee to safety. He was trapped in a metal hotbox of a trailer that would soon be completely engulfed in flames. No human being should ever have to suffer the unimaginable pain and terror of dying by fire. Although PG&E, the corporation, has pled guilty to 84 counts of involuntary manslaughter in the Campfire, it was not a corporation that made the decision over and over and over again to divert monies that should have been spent on equipment maintenance and vegetation control. Those decisions were made by people. People focused on profits. People who will never pay a price for the utter devastation of whole communities and the deaths of 84 people in the Campfire alone. In closing, I would like to thank the many first responders who put their lives on the line to lead so many citizens out of the firestorm to safety. I would also like to thank Deputy Tiffany Larson of the Butte County Sheriff's Department for her graceful handling of the situation throughout the 336 days it took to officially identify Herb's remains. Her compassion, patience, and understanding helped me more than she could ever know. Thank you, Your Honor.